All right, this one here is about having a celly, man. This the bond that you gotta have with your celly. So sit back and relax. So imagine having to live with a man locked in a cell 24 hours a day because you on lockdown. This is about having a bond with your celly and the different things that you could get into. All right? All right, this one here is about having a celly, man. This is the bond that you got to have with your celly, so y'all understand and sit back and relax. Now, you don't get to pick who you get in your cell when you first get to any institution. Now, when you get to an institution like Atwater USP, Atwater USP is a whole different animal. That's why I loved it, because the police stayed out of our business. Atwater, you get to Atwater, and you go to R&D, and the police is going to tell you, report to unit such and such, cell such and such. When you get to that unit, they don't even have a cell number named that. So once you get in the cell, you're going to have men come up to you if you black and say, where you from, homie? If you say, I'm from Memphis, I'm from Georgia. They say, okay, come on. You with the dirty South car. Let me take you to your car so they can find you a cell. If you're from New York, they say, let me take you to the New York car. You're from D.C., they take you to the D.C. car. You're Serrano, they take you to the Serrano car. So that's how they do it at Atwater. Now, once they do that, if your homies don't have no pull on the cell, on the unit, don't have no pull in the jail, or don't have any cells, now you have to sleep in a day room. And they don't even give you a mattress. The police tell you, well, if you ain't got a cell, you got to sleep in a day room. You're like, but they told me at R&D, receiving and discharging, Dad, I go to cell such and such. And the police would tell you, do you see a cell such and such here? Okay, well, leave me alone. I'm locking you in the TV room for the night. So unless you find somebody to take you as a celly, I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's how vicious Atwater is. That's why that officer got killed in Atwater, because when you get to Atwater, they don't do no screening. They put you on the compound and they tell you straight up, no blood, no shoe. Means special housing unit, SHU, special housing unit. So that's how crazy they are. So you get there and you have to go on the compound. You done, told on somebody, had a beef with somebody in another jail, whatever the issue is. You can't tell the police, I need PC equals protective custody. They're not trying to hear it. They tell you, no, we don't do that here because too many people is getting stabbed, so we don't hold cells for cowards. That's what they tell you at Atwater. We don't hold cell for cowards. Take your ass out there, get stabbed, and then we got a cell for you. So if you youngins want to live like this, go ahead. Could you imagine the very people supposed to protect you tell you you must go on the compound, get stabbed, leak your blood on their soil, and then they will protect you and put you in the cell. But you can't verbally say, I don't want to go, on the compound because I got an issue because I told on the Serranos, or I told on the D.C. car, I told on the New York, Chicago GD car. They don't want to hear none of that. They tell you shouldn't have done that, and you shouldn't have came here. And they're like, but I didn't ask to come here. And they say, okay, no problem, but you here. And this is the way we run our jail. So now when I came to Atwater USP, I came there with 33 men on a bus from Oklahoma City holdover jail. Within 30 days, it was only 3 of us left. 33 men came with me. 30 days later, 30 men got stabbed up and got ran up off the yard. Because you can't go to the police and say, oh, I see somebody that I told on. I see somebody I had a fight in another jail. They tell you, okay, well, you got to go fight him here. Spill your blood and go to the shoe, or spill his blood and we put him in the shoe. But that's the only way any of y'all are leaving here. No blood, no shoe. Remember our and one basketball when they were saying no blood, no foul? Well, Atwater ran on that principle. No blood, no shoe. So now, because I like to ride. Let me let y'all hear my joint, come on. All right, I'm riding. This way I ride, man. This how I ride. Just so you understand. So now, we in the unit, you ain't got no cell, you sleeping in the day room. Now, if you got a little money, then you could come and you could tell them, look, man, I'm trying to buy a cell. And you find somebody that's getting high or, like to gamble or, whatever they trying to do. And you say, look, I'm trying to buy a cell. Dude tell you, all right, give me $200-$300 and you could have my cell. This is a government cell they're selling. So if you youngins want to go to prison and go buy a government cell for $300 that 9 times out of 10 you don't have because your family ain't sending you the paper like that, feel free to do what you're doing. So now they tell you got to buy a cell. So now you ain't got no money. You got to sleep in the day room when the compound is open. There's other men that comes in the day room because it's a TV in the day room. It's like really a TV room. So you go in the TV room and early morning at 6 o'clock when they open the door, you have to get up, fold your mattress up, get it out the way because dudes is coming in there to come watch sports, news, movie, whatever they want to do. Because it's their privilege. And they have priority, over the TV room. But at night when they lock in at 10 o'clock, the cowards go in the TV room that ain't got no homies or can't fight to get a cell or can't buy a cell. So if that's how you want to live, you let me know. But then now, once you get there, you find somebody that you're compatible with. When you find somebody that you're compatible with, then, you say, yo, what's up, son? I'm trying to be your cellie. So they let you in the cell. Once you go in the cell with somebody, and, let me get another point. Because, I like to ride. I love to ride. Come on. All right, so we ride. So now, we sit here and some jails, we're going to take it out of Atwater for a minute. That's why we riding. Most jails, when you go there, the police assign you a cell. You don't know who you going in the cell with, but you know it's going to be somebody from that race because in the feds, the administration, they promote racism in the feds. You heard what I said? They promote racism. So a black must go in with a black, and a white must go in with a white, and a Spanish must go in with a Spanish. Because if a black dude move in a cell with a white dude, 9 times out of 10, they think that they on some he cipher, monkey cipher stuff, and they're not going to allow it because they're going to think that, is, taking advantage of. I don't have to tell you what that means. If y'all been here long enough, you know what the back of the hand mean and the front of the hand mean. Put it in the comments to show me that y'all paying attention in this class, okay? Gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. Let's ride. So now we sitting here and you find a cellie. You go in the cell with a dude that you agree to go in the cell with, right? Or the administration puts you in the cell with somebody. Once you get in the cell with somebody, whether the administration put you in there or not, let's say the administration put you in the cell with another black man, or another, Hispanic, or a white dude, if you're white. So you're in the cell with somebody, but the person you're in the cell with, he got a dope habit, he like to gamble, he like to go get stuff from the store man, or whatever it is that he like to do. Once he does this and he go outside that cell and he gets in a beef, if someone wants to come back and bring violence to your cellie, you know what I mean? It's cool. They can murder your cellie. That's the way it works in the prison. But they can't murder your cellie in your cell. So you got to be careful who you let in your cell. Because if it's a crash dummy, that's what we call them, a crash dummy. A crash dummy without a helmet. A dude that go out there and, get drugs from somebody and don't pay him, Now he's going to come put the knife in him, So you call him a crash dummy. So let's say your cellie go out there and he go get some dope from somebody and, tell him he gonna pay him on store day. Store day come ask for his money and, he ain't got his money. So now dude go get his knife and he try and catch him in the cell so to be out the camera so you can just hit him up real quick and peel out. Now he comes to the cell to hit up your cellie, who's a crash dummy, but the administration puts you in the cell with this crash dummy. So you don't even know this dude. Now the crazy part that you youngins have to pay attention to is, even though you don't know this crash dummy, the administration puts you in a cell with him, and if somebody comes to that cell that you and the crash dummy is living in to do something to the crash dummy, you must defend the crash dummy. Put it in the comments what you think about that. About you defending a dude that, is a dope fiend that done borrowed, done bought dope on credit and didn't pay, or went to the store, man, got food on credit, didn't pay, or he gambled with somebody on a sports team and didn't pay. And then now dude come to the cell to come stab him. You ain't got nothing to do with it. You don't gamble, you know what I mean? You don't get high, and you don't do none of that. You don't borrow, you don't go get nothing from the store, man. But this cellie that the administration put you in the cell with does all of the above. And now here comes a man coming with his knife ready to put it in him. You got to stop him at the door and say, hold on. Whatever beef you got with my trash dummy cellie, you're not going to take it out on him in my cell. So you saying that, I got to stab you too? You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're not going to ask you that. They already know what it is. So when he come in, if he is a man, he's going to stop me. Don't say, look, I don't know what's going on with you and my cellie, but you're not coming in here to do nothing to him. Now, if your cellie's in the cell, you go in the cell and you tell your cellie, yo, look, I don't know what you got going on, but you need to take that outside my cell and deal with the situation that you created, but you're not going to hide in my cell. You're not going to put me in harm's way, because the way it worked for you youngins to understand, that's why I say the game is to be sold, not told, and that's why my Cash App is on the screen. Remember, there's no one in my last name Hall, Hall, and hit that logo to make sure it was created in 2020. I'm giving game. Game is to be sold, not told. I know my gangster subscribers know that, because this is a gangster channel. Gunshots to the gangsters that come to this channel, and gunshots to the want to know what a gangster is that come to this channel. Just know that the game is to be sold, not told. So now you tell your cellie, yo, dude trying to see you, you got company, so, going out the cell. Now he goes out the cell, and dude say, where my money at? Whatever it is that he got that's going on, dude puts the knife in him, you know what I mean? And now the administration take him and put him in the special housing unit, a.k.a. the SHU, because S-H-U spells shoe. So now he puts him in the SHU because he done got stabbed up. Because if you was to allow him to come in the cell and stab your cellie, if something go down and there's blood in the cell, you're getting locked up with your cellie. So that's why you say, take your haran outside of my cell, because you're supposed to be on man time. You heard what I said? You're supposed to be on man time. Man time is not borrowing nothing from nobody, not dealing with he cipher, monkey ciphers, and living by the principles and morals and codes of the game, which is don't do none of the above. So that's why you and your cellie gotta, when you got a cell and they put somebody in your cell, you gotta sit them down and you gotta explain all this to them at the beginning, your family. I don't know if you're a he cipher, monkey cipher. If you are, you're definitely not gonna stay in here. So what's going on, my brother? You got a little sugar in your tank? And if he say, yeah, but I keep it, no, out. We don't do the he cipher, monkey cipher. You understand? Then you ask him, are you he cipher truth? Have you told on anybody? Would you or have you ever told on anyone? And if you say, yeah, but I got in a situation and, I wrote a grievance and I put his name in it. No, out. We don't put anyone's name in a grievance. We can fight a grievance anytime we want. You know what I mean? A grievance is for when you don't get like medical attention or they're not giving you your just dues. That's when you fight a grievance. You know what I mean? But you don't sit there and fight a grievance when you get in a fight and then you put in the shot or when I got in a fight with inmate such and such, violation. Never should another inmate's name, never should another inmate's name, I'm going to say it again, never should another inmate's name be in any paperwork associated with yours in a negative manner. Under no circumstances. And that's just the way it is. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know you got in a fight. You know, one win, one lose. I look at it like as long as you fight back, you won. But even if the person did something to you, whatever, you don't say inmate such and such did such and such. Nowhere do you have another inmate's name in your joint. You understand? Just so you understand what I'm dealing with. You know, I'm doing it live, homie. I'll call you back. You know? So that's where that goes. So now, you know, if the administration put someone else's name with your name, you don't corroborate it. You know what I mean? The administration would even go a step further and lie and say, you know, you said whatever, but you don't sign your name to that. Then that frees you because your signature is not on anything. When you file a grievance, you have to sign a name, you know, your name to the grievance saying that everything you're saying in the above is true and factual. So if you say that inmate such and such did something, now you mentioned their name and you're signing it that you spoke on another man's name. And we don't do that. That's how it works in the feds. I don't know how it works in the state, you know, but, you know, to each his own. So now you got a celly in here, crash dummy, he go out there, he getting all that. You know what I mean? So now, you know, let's ride. Let me give you another part of, you know, what having a celly's about. All right? Let's go. Now, you got a celly, and he got food. You know, his people sending him a little money, but every time you turn around, he putting his sign up like he, you know, using the bathroom, but he's in the cell eating his zoom zooms and wham whams. That means it's munchies, you know, cookies, chips, and, you know, such and such. So now, he's in the cell. You know what I mean? This is getting good. Now he's in the cell, he hiding, eating. He wait till you go to sleep and he want to, you know, wrestle through the bags and, you know, try and eat real quiet so that you don't hear him, you know, like a rat. Bastard. He waits till you go to sleep to eat so he don't have to offer you none. That's what you call a scumbag. You know what I mean? Because if you eat, your celly's supposed to eat. You don't hide and eat, period. You know what I mean? If I'm in the cell with my celly and I'm getting ready to cook, first thing I'm going to do is say, yo, celly, I'm getting ready to cook some mackerel and rice. You know what I mean? Give me 2 mackerels and a bag of rice. You offer him a chance to get in. If he say, nah, I don't feel like eating, you know what I mean? You say, all right, cool, you're going to make your food. If he say, nah, I don't have it, you understand what I'm saying? You say, okay, well, I got you on this one, homie. And you put in his 2 mackerels and a soup, with your 2 mackerels in the soup, and your green pepper, onions, and tomatoes, and, you know, you hook the food up, and you feed your celly. Because when you're sitting in your cell eating, you don't want your celly to sit there not eating nothing. Because there's somebody running that cell to do something to you, your celly is supposed to defend you. And you're supposed to defend your celly. Cash App on the screen. Keep it 100. Gunshots. I don't care if it's $1, $5. The game to be sold, not told. If not, make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribing, definitely hit the like button and give me an emoji. Can I get an emoji? Can I get an emoji? That's where we at. You know what I mean? So now, you know, dude is in there eating, he carrying on, and he not giving his celly none, and, you know, and then he goes out there and he gets in an argument with someone over the phone who's next on the phone. There's a guy waiting online for the phone, you know, and it's like 10 people there. So when it gets down where he's next, he said, oh, man, I got to go to the bathroom, you know, or let me run and get this number. He runs and gets a number. And then here you go, come out your cell, you walk down there, and there's nobody there to ask who's next. So you figure you're next. That's why you came out your cell, because the phone, there's no line there. So now you come, stand up, and while you standing there, you understand? You go and you get on the phone. There's nobody there. The dude that ran to get his, use the bathroom or to go get the phone number, whatever, in his mind, you played me. You knew I was next on the phone. He ain't even see you nowhere near that damn phone because he was in the cell writing a letter or reading a book or whatever he's doing. You know what I mean? Hey, homie, didn't I tell you I'm on the phone, man? I'm doing a video, so call me back later, man. All right? When I got time, I talk. Stop it. So that's what it is. See, I answer my phone when people ring, but I just answered the phone and told the homie I'm doing a video, and then he calls right back. I don't care what it is. If I tell you or you tell me, yo, I'm busy right now, call back, and I answer the phone and tell you that. Or I even text you that. That don't mean you keep calling and think that's going to make me answer the phone, because now you're going to make me not even want to talk to you because you 100% disrespected me. I answer all my phones when I have time. Right now, I'm working. So if somebody called and it's the work phone, that's why I say you can use the number on the screen. I answer this phone. 917-680-9091. I met some good people that, we've been talking about different prisons that they was in with different of my homies that, I answer the phone. I answer the phone at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I'm not a sucker. Where my phone ring, I hear it, I'm awake, and I don't answer it. That's some weak shit to me. Because you don't know if your man needs you at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You don't know if the person calling you. If I could put my number, I put my number on the screen, right? There you go again, 917-680-9091. If somebody calls me that I don't even know on this phone right here, which is my YouTube phone, if I'm awake, I answer it because I don't know what kind of crisis they might be in. And that's the way that works. So let me get back to where I'm at, because he threw me off with that. I told him, man, I'm doing a video, and he calls right back. Come on, man, crab. Shit. Don't do that to me, man. But anyway, so if your cellie is eating and don't break bread with you, and then he get into something, you got every right not to hold him down. But if he's that type of cellie, that's when you either move out and find a cellie that know how to break bread, you know what I mean? That know how to break bread. Or you put him out and get a cellie that know how to break bread. But we don't do no, what I got is mine, what you got is yours, because we just in the cell together. Nah, this ain't none of that. You get out my cell. If I was there first. But if I move in your cell and I see that's the way you rotating, I'm gone, my nigga. I'm going to find somebody know how to bake bread. And you see how I move. I know how to hustle. I done came home, got on the YouTube, did my thing where I got all the rat bastards and trolls. You know what I mean? Let's not forget the flip-flop wearing in public creeps. You know what I mean? Trying to attack me. When I just in general let them know that I don't respect rat bastards that don't stand on their rat. Stand on it, and I respect you for being a rat. But I don't respect you for being a rat if you're going to sit here and make justification for ratting. You're going to try and mention other people that ratted, like I ratted and he ratted too. We all ratted. Okay, then all you rat bastards stay over there away from me. And that's it. It's not that hard. I'm not a rat hunter, and we have rat hunters. We have rat hunters, but I'm not a rat hunter. I just like to stay away from them. Just like if you don't like dogs or you're allergic to cats, you stay away from them. I don't like rats, so I stay away from them. I don't like snakes, so I stay away from them too. It's not that hard. So let me get back to where I'm at. So you got a cellie. Whatever your cellie get into, you must get involved if he's in your cell. Because if not, whoever is bringing the drama to your cellie is going to know that these are the rules of the penitentiary. So when I roll in a man's cell because he did something, I'm going in knowing that it's war with him and his cellie. I'm not going to roll in a cell blind saying I'm going to stab his cellie and he's going to sit back and let me. I'm rolling the cell knowing that if I put the knife in his cellie, I know for a fact his cellie's going to try to put the knife in me. to get me off his celly. Y'all follow me? That's why I say the games to be sold not told. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to start posting on Instagram again. Now, so there's another circumstance. You know, I just feel like riding today. You know, let me hear I just feel like riding. You know, I really like riding. Now, there's another circumstance. Let's say two homies, right? I know both of these dudes. Now, oh yeah, let me say it before I go to that. If you find out your celly's a rat and you didn't know he's a rat and somebody's coming to stab your celly because he's a rat, that's the only time you don't get involved with him. If you know your celly is a stand-up man in your mind, and then somebody got paperwork on your celly and they're going to stab your celly, that's when you push your celly out to the wolves and you sit back and let them go. Like, let me give you an instance. That's where I was going with this, you know, because I like to ride. If y'all don't like to ride, get the hell off my channel, you rat bastard. This is a gangster channel for gangsters, man. All right? So now, you got two homies. I'm cool with both of y'all. Now, both of y'all getting ready to fight. You understand? I don't get involved in that. I let y'all do what you got to do. But if I'm cool with both of y'all, I'm going to tell you, yo, look, no disrespect. You know I'm cool with both of y'all. I don't want to get involved. So y'all need to take that somewhere else or let me know so I can go somewhere else because I don't want to be a part of this and I don't want to witness this because y'all ain't supposed to be fighting and I'm not going to pick sides. So I would remove myself from the situation, close the cell door, and let them go on and fight in their cell. I'm talking about if it's two cellies. Remember, this is a celly video. Two cellies in there, they get ready to fight. I'm cool with both of them. I go to the cell every night and I hang with both of them, and then now they got an issue going on. You understand? I'm not going to sit there and try and break up the fight. I'm going to tell them, look, if y'all get ready to get it on, let me go. And y'all can handle your business. You know what I mean? But if I'm there and I see it going down, you understand? And I'm cool with both of them. Back in the days when I was younger, I had no morals, you know, no empathy towards none of this, you know. If you're going to fight, I'm going to sit there. If one die, I'm going to sit there and watch him die. That's when I was younger. But as I got older, I learned what you call empathy and compassion, you know. So if I'm cool with both of y'all, and y'all are fighting in my presence, I'm going to pull the one that's getting the better of the other one off before he kills his celly or his man. You understand that? I'm going to pull him off if he's getting the better of him if I'm cool with the both of them. If I'm cool with one of them and the one that I'm cool with is losing, yeah. I'm going to jump in. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to let my man get stomped out by no goddamn outsider. And that's the way it is. So if you youngins want to live like this, feel free to continue to break the law and come off the porch and thinking that you sliding. But this is what go on in the penitentiary. See, I'm giving you this so you don't have to live it to learn it like I did. Because I'm not proud of none of that, and I'm trying to prevent you from going there. But these are the rules. So you can't say, I didn't know this was going to happen after you wind up in prison and wind up in these situations, because I'm bringing them to you. Where at? Let me show you. I'm bringing them to you, you know, on your cell phone. You understand what I'm saying? Come on. You know what I mean? I'm giving it to you. Just like you can't say, from this forward, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to tell. Because Unique Mecca Audio is telling you, if you break the law, you're a convict. So now if something goes down with you breaking the law with your comrade, you don't tell on your comrade under any circumstances. And I'm even going to take it right here because I see this. I couldn't even believe this. I'm even going to take it here. Not even if he's dead. Because like I said, my brother was dead. I'll show you the paperwork. They asked me, not me, let's get that right, you know, because I would definitely gave him a gunshot. They asked my lawyer if I wanted to, you know, put it on my brother and help them solve the case and bring the rest of his crew in, because this wasn't even my case. I did life plus 20 for my brother's case in Virginia. Yes, I sent drugs from New York City to my brother in Virginia. And my brother sent money back to New York and paid me for the drugs. But I wasn't involved in the day-to-day operation of bag this up that way, give this one that, give them now, who owes this, who owes that. That's not my business. I give you a key, you give me 20,000. That's it. However you break the key down, you do. However you make, or however amount of profit you make, is not my concern. That's yours. If you make 100,000 off the key that I'm charging you 20,000 for, I don't want 50,000. All I want is my 20,000. But these people turned around and said, because I was sending the drugs to my brother, that I was a part of his organization, when they know that's not the law. But me as a man, I had to zip it. I couldn't now say, no, I only sent it to my brother and, you know, I didn't get no profit out of it. No. I would never take the stand and say nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? But people do this when they agree to break the law with their brothers. You know what I mean? So I had to wear that, you know? So now I really want y'all to understand this, because, you know, yeah, I'm done with it, man. Because y'all keep, what I don't like and what I don't understand is you got a bunch of civilians that never been battle tested, that's never been justice tested, to stand in front of a judge facing the rest of his life, or even facing 5 years or 10 years losing his freedom, speaking on what they would do if they got caught, and then tried to justify their rat bastard instincts of they would tell if they got caught. Man, y'all stay in your lane and I'm gonna stay in my lane, no disrespect. And you know, my man told me, he said, yo, all the rats are gonna come out at you. All the rats is at you because you give them gunshots, because they deserve gunshots, man. You deserve a gunshot for turning in your celly, for turning in your comrade. A gunshot. I'm not telling nobody to do that. What I'm telling people to do is don't get involved so you don't be put in that situation. Because if I told on a man I deserve to be killed, if I told on a man I will fall on my own sword, he wouldn't even have to kill me. If I broke weak and told on another man, I would fall on my own sword. Because those are the rules of the game. It's always been like that from history. When you're at war and you're in the battlefield, you don't commit treason. Treason is punishable by death, not a beatdown, not a scolding. Treason is punishable by death. That's why I say don't get involved in the streets so you don't have to worry about committing treason or death. Stay in school. My man is Zip, right? I got a video coming out on Zip. I'm editing myself. You know what I mean? My man Zip, right? You know, Eric Von Zip's, you know, son. And this brother and me, we sat down and we talked. And, you know, I'm really getting a headache even talking about this, because I can't fathom how y'all don't understand these rules. When you know you wouldn't want your brother to tell on you, but you tell on your brother and you make a reason and a justification for doing that. When you wouldn't want to hear any reason or justification for that. You know what I mean? Yo, family, this is the third time you call messing up my joint when I'm telling you that I'm having a show. I don't want to hear it, damn it. Damn, man. You know, this is the shit that I'm talking about. That's that coward shit. Now I'm going to block this nigga. Because you're not on man time. I tell you I'm busy and you keep calling. What if I'm in war? What if I'm in an environment that I have to watch my back and you keep calling me? Man, I'm getting off this shit, man, because I hate suckers. And I'm telling you, I'm blocking that nigga.